and Alan Kay is behind the camera. There he is. In the scenario, we're leaving the chicken house now. So it's been basically 48 hours since we began this adventure. We staked the place out for 24 hours, make sure it was unoccupied. We spent the night in there. We gathered all the resources that we think that we might need to get ourselves home. We've got a couple days walk to get home, and that now we're starting that adventure. And what I want to do, I don't have a map, I don't have a compass, I'm not that prepared, but I know the way home via the road. But I do not want to be using the road in this situation because people are significantly more unfriendly when there's civil unrest going around, and I don't want to be walking past people's driveways and just putting myself out there. I just want to keep as low of a profile as possible. But I'm going to be using the roads. I know how to get home by the road, so I'm going to be using the roads as a handrail, but I want to be keeping my distance away from them as much as possible. So let's say I haven't, but let's say I've been walking all day. Sun's starting to go down. I need to make myself a camp for the night using the stuff that I've got in my makeshift kit here. I still got a bead on the road. I know about where it is. I can't see it, but I know about where it is. I want to find myself a nice low-lying area that I can set up a very inconspicuous camp. Currently, I've been following kind of the path of most resistance, but if I could, I'd follow a deer trail, as long as it's going in the right direction. Because something I learned from Alan Kay is this: the animals, the deer, know the sneakiest route from A to B. They're trying to keep a low profile. They don't want to be seen by anybody, and they're just going to instinctively follow that path. And if I could do what they're doing, I could stay under the radar. So I see a thicket over here that's in kind of a depression, and that might be my camp spot for the evening. I don't know yet until I get over there. But I'm basically going to look at all of the same elements of a good campsite as I would normally do. You know, and just make sure there's no big widowmakers that's going to crush me in the middle of the night. Make sure I'm not on a major game trail. All of those kind of things are important. But now there's an added element of I need to be low visibility. I don't want people to be able to see me in my campsite. So let's go check it out and see if it's got all the, if we could check all the boxes. So this looks like a solid spot right here. I'm concealed in this kind of lower area. Doesn't appear to be any sign of heavy runoff or anything like that that's going to wash me out in the middle of the night. I'm concealed by this great big oak tree. This holly tree that's got lots of leaves on it, for one, is keeping me in shadow, which is good. And it's also going to be concealing me from that direction. I've got good visibility this way, so I would probably have the opening of my shelter kind of facing this direction so I can kind of see if anything's approaching. So this bright white Tyvek material is not ideal for this kind of situation just because it's super high visibility. This white thing is going to stand out really obviously. So my tactics would change just a little bit. It's daylight now because I want to make sure you can see what we're doing, but I would not set this up until basically dark. It's, you know, dark 30. I would set this thing up, and then I would take it down before the sun came up and be on my way again. But if I wanted to keep a really, really low profile with this thing, this is basically what I would do. If I didn't think it was gonna rain, I was pretty confident it wasn't gonna rain, I would pretty much just nestle myself underneath this thing, put my feet on one side, and this right here would do a couple things. One, it's gonna give me a little bit more insulation, which is good.
Now I'm going to need you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. and repeat the mantra, I am a survivor.
I am a survivor. So this would insulate me just a little bit, help me keep a little bit warmer, kind of tuck it in around me like a sleeping bag sort of deal. And I've got two pieces of this Tyvek, so I can lay on one as a moisture barrier underneath my mat here, and then cover up with one just to keep any dew or anything off of me in the middle of the night. And this would work even if it was raining. You know, I'd stay drier. It wouldn't be ideal, obviously. But if it was going to rain and I saw that in the future, in the forecast, I would want some sort of a little bit more substantial shelter to keep myself dry, and I'm gonna rig something up right now.
The Tyvek is noticeably lacking grommets.
Not too many grommets on the Tyvek.
What will you do?
Found a nut on the ground, so I'm just gonna use that as kind of my tie out point on the edge of my Tyvek here. Tied a simple loop in my cordage. Put the line through the loop, over the nut, and cinch it down on top of it. And now I've got a secure tie out spot on the corner of my tarp here. For another option for a tie out, you can just take a couple of leaves, a couple of dead leaves, ball them up, crumple them up like so until it's about the size of a marble. Put it inside your fabric, and then use that as your tie out. Yeah, I kept it as low as I could to still be able to get underneath it. My shoulder's touching it when I'm laying on my side. It'll shed some water. Not ideal, obviously, but it's what I've got. It's the best of the materials I could come up with. If it wasn't for this, I'd be building a natural shelter, which would take me hours and hours and hours of useful daylight time when I could be making my way home. If I needed to build a fire to boil more water, which inevitably I would because I've only got a half gallon of water with me, and throughout a day's hiking I'm going to have drank all of that. If I could collect water on my way, which in this area you're going to cross creeks and streams, it's inevitable. You can't walk very far at all without it happening. I would probably dig myself a hole here, a depression, where I could get my fire really low, and maybe even build a hide wall. I could build a Dakota fire hole if I wanted to. Digging around here without a shovel is really tough, so maybe I would just build myself a wall around it to kind of conceal the flames. I would boil my water, and then I would cut that fire out immediately, as fast as possible.
Yeah, this looks good. So the height on this is knee high on me. That's hitting me right in the hollow of the knee, which is usually how I do my shelters. Like if I'm doing a poncho hooch or whatever, you think of the acronym that everybody knows, BLISS, B-L-I-S-S. It should blend, it should be low. We got low. It should be an irregular shape. We have straight lines. We didn't really, so we violated that one. It's white, so it's not going to blend. It's small and it is secluded. So we got some of the bliss in there, but obviously with the color and the straight lines, not super stealthy. But this is cush, man. This is comfy. I've slept in worse.
Much worse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And this is a pretty good neighborhood, so it's not like while you're asleep, somebody's going to cut your throat. At least not on this side of the river. Now over there, there's
Totally
some
different.
cannibalistic, subterranean, humanoid dwelling creatures, thirsty for man love. Well, I'm 6'6".
You are completely underneath.
My
that.
torso is right here.
Yeah.
And I can take this and use it as a cover over me.
Yep.
I'm gonna be dry enough, and we're in and out of the wind, you know.
Yeah, that would be the thing to do since we've got 2 pieces of Tyvek.
And I generally will lay on my side because that's less of my body touching the ground if we're talking cold, which it isn't right now. So, yeah, this is good. This is a nice room.
Any touches you'd add to our accommodations?
No,
Flowers,
all you're doing is checking the basics, man. You want a place you can rack out and not wake up drenched to the bone, you know, and get up and move again. That's it. Where's this stuff made? Made in Canada. Awesome. Did you see that? Crown Royal. I'm just thinking of all the Canadian contributions to
maple syrup,
Crown Royal, Tyvek, curling, the Olympic sport.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it?
That's nice, yeah.
Probably hockey too, huh?
With the sweeping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they take the broom and they got the big thing. Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
I don't know how you train for that. I noticed you had your knife under your pillow here.
My shank.
You ready? You know? Bam. Somebody walks past, you get the Achilles tendon. I like it.
That's right.
That's pretty heartless, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I roll.
You're savage.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I'm Jason Salyer. That's Alan K behind the camera.
We need to tighten up the turret on this thing. The swivel is.
That's a little loose.
Stand by. All right, I'm going to need you to channel your inner woodsman.
I'm always channeled.
And now let your spirit animal, the chupacabra, come forth.
That's your spirit animal.
I thought it was yours too.
My spirit animal is like a cobra slug, you know.
Well, actually, my spirit animal is a butterfly, but you can't. You can't
go around telling people that.
You can't do that. You know, oh, fuck, it's a tiger. You know what I mean?
You'd lose street cred.
Yeah. All right. Summation of chicken housery, survivalishness, take 2. And action.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Jason Salyer, and that's Alan K behind the camera. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the series of the chicken house, utilizing its resources and then making our way home. That's right. We'd basically be taking down this shelter, then rinsing and repeating, following, keeping as a low profile as possible on our way home until we made it home. And that would be basically what we'd be doing for the next night or 2, depending on how fast we could move in this situation. With that said, I really appreciate it, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Breaking down camp.
Breaking camp, boss.
Breaking camp. And I just leave these tied to the ends of my tarp here.
Yeah, that's
So
the way
ready.
John. Yeah.
That's what John Wayne would do.
John Wayne would do that.
That's right. I don't need this stake, so I'll just kind of give it one of those. That makes that easy.